Welcome back, everyone. Hope you all had a great lunch and enjoyed visiting our expo booths. Now, moving on to our last keynote address of the day on the topic the advent of digital transformation towards resilience, agility, and shaping the digital economy. To address that, we have with us Mr. Golok Kumar Simli, Chief Technology Officer, Passport Seva Program, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Shivani. Let me at the outset thanks Elets and the entire team for bringing me here. On the keynote, closing keynote, which I'll be speaking about, the advent of digitizations for creating resilience, agility, and how do you know how does it help shaping up the digital economy. There are three, four things straight away comes to my mind. First thing, the way digitization is happening globally, not only in India. If we see the complete culture, no, in terms of dealing with your business, in terms of no creating new business opportunities, in terms of not dealing with the challenges, in terms of service delivery, in terms of benefits and schemes, in terms of products and portfolios. Entire gamut of things had changed after, especially after the COVID-19 scenario, and more we are seeing the digitization happening in government organization, and why only government organization, even the private sectors at large, and as I say globally too. If we see the kind of digitization happening, this directly results into creation of more data, creation of more kind of a digital ecosystem in terms of data centers, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of applications, and that naturally helps in terms of dealing with your silos, in terms of taking quicker decision, in terms of taking kind of a right decisions at right time, in terms of making actionable insights. The data sets you have in terms of structured data, in terms of unstructured data sets, this gives you a kind of a complete know-how of your end-to-end business understanding, your end-to-end dealing with your customer, in end-to-end dealing with your beneficiaries and masses at large also. For an example, in Passport Seva program, we are dealing with more than 1 billion of citizens in India. And why only in India, but our Indian diaspora across the globe. And unless you have this kind of a digitization is in place, unless you have this kind of a digital ecosystem in place, and unless you have a data driven kind of a business acumen in place, it's very difficult, in terms of dealing with the customer, in terms of dealing with your citizens. So that is one of the major advent we get as part of digitization. The second important factor of why digitization is so important, why digital at large is so important, because the kind of cyber threat, the kind of cyber security challenges, if you are dealing with those silos, if you have data information lying across here and there, they are in silos, if they are scattered across, again the kind of the security, the kind of holistic visibility you are looking for, if you do not have end-to-end digitization in place, if you do not have end-to-end process reengineering in place, and if you are not dealing with, as I said, the digital end-to-end, again the task becomes doubly or triply difficult for you. So that is the second major advantage you get in terms of dealing with your security, dealing with your privacy concerns, dealing with your data at large, in terms of structured data sets and unstructured data sets. The third thing, why is that no we are saying that no the advent of digitization is not only dealing with your customer beneficiaries data, but also it gives you a platform of resilience and agility. For an example, in the COVID era, uh, suddenly we have to adapt a scenario where things were physical plus digital, where things were on premises plus kind of a cloud kind of an environment. And imagine, suppose you don't have that kind of a digital readiness with you, suppose you don't have that kind of a no holistic end-to-end process engineering in place, suppose you don't understand your workload well end-to-end, how difficult it is no to deal with such scenario, especially in the era of COVID-19. And that is why the kind of agility we are looking, the kind of no demand adjustment we are looking, the kind of segregation we are looking in terms of no dealing with your critical load, non-critical load, sovereign data, non-sovereign data. Again, it's a the way we could would take care of this COVID scenario or the ongoing pandemic. It is just because of digital. It is just because of digitization end to end, and that is the another major advantage we get out of it. The last thing in terms of setting up the digital economy at large, as I tell you, saying that. No, when you look overall as a digital economy or overall economy per se, let's say assume that digital economy you are aiming towards no $1 trillion of digital economy. I always say that no digital economy is not at all about IT and ITS sector alone. It is about how do you bring in your core sector as part of your digital economy. And when I say how do you bring in our core sector, whether it is a health sector, whether it is a agriculture sector, whether it is a education sector, so in all sense, I am telling you, no, if you can bring in an intelligent transformation into those core digital core sectors by leveraging digital, the opportunities are enough. For let me quote you a small example here. The various data, various reports suggest us that the agriculture sector alone, no, the agriculture sector alone, it has a capability to multiply almost 70 times. So just imagine that means it has a capability and capacity to generate almost $70 billion, kind of a worth and economy from the one sector alone. So if we are quoting one sector and that is the opportunity, that is the capacity, imagine every core sector, whether it is education sector, whether it is a logistics sector, whether it is a health sector, what is the kind of opportunity to add into our digital economy. So therefore, what I personally believe, what we have experienced, what we are experiencing day and night, the approach is we started with those silo days, those kind of a scattered days, then we move towards the consolidation days, and today we are at a kind of a automation stage, automation days. And if you are trying to leverage the automation maximum, if you are trying to move from, let's say, reactive to proactive to productive, predictive, if you are moving from, let's say, as I said, silo days to consolidation days to automation days, if you are trying to give a citizen experience from the gone of the days to a enhanced citizen experience to next level of citizen experience, we feel that, and have personally experienced that the digitization is the only way forward. Digital is the only way forward. But you have to see that when you are planning with digital, when you are strategizing with digital, it has to be end to end, it has to be holistic, it should be visible, it should be not only within you but your entire ecosystem, your stakeholders at large. And at last you also ensure that the security and privacy is taken care end to end, part of your design, part of your solutions, and part of your entire service delivery ecosystem. So that's how it is. So I end up here. Thank you once again, Elets, for bringing me here for the BFSI Summit to deliver the closing keynote. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful keynote address. I hope our viewers must have gained a good piece of knowledge. Now, as a token of appreciation, I would like to present an appreciation certificate to you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Elets.
Mr.
Thank you,
Golok
Shivani.
Kumar. Thank you, Mr. Golakumar Simli, Chief Technology Officer, Passport Seva Program, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Shivani. Thank you.